Cultures around the world have been dealing with what we call attachment energy for centuries. The idea of something in the unseen having an effect on someone is nothing new to us. It's nothing new. It's not a new concept to the world. There were Native American tribes that believed in a certain kind of energy. They had a name for it. They even laid down laws as to how to deal with it and how to manage someone that has been affected by that. And within those laws, whoever it is that takes the responsibility of clearing this energy, of helping this person become free of these attachments, becomes responsible for that person and the energy in which they possess. In other cultures, like in Sicily, which is where my heritage lies, Strega would protect entire cities by keeping the energy clear and making sure that that low frequency energy didn't affect the people of their towns. And this has been a topic that has touched me deeply in my life because, for one, I've always been able to see and recognize that attachment energy on myself or on anyone else. I've had many friends that have been victim to this attachment energy, and how it works is it starts out with something simple that creates a vulnerability. For some people it may have been a childhood trauma, or it may have been some sort of behavior or something that they were involved with at some point in their life that created a vulnerability, like a drug addiction or a sex addiction, or what I'm saying, something that they did that wasn't healthy. That is what created that vulnerability in the first place, or like I said, a trauma. And then from that point, it's as if the energy grabs a hold and makes room for more. It makes a bigger opening, and it creates more problems, because when you get one attachment energy, then things start to become problematic in your life and things start to go wrong. It's not like, when I'm talking about somebody with attachment energy, that's not just like a regular person that's experiencing regular problems in their day-to-day life, but we're talking on a much more serious soul level. This is somebody that's become vulnerable, and that energy has attached itself and created an opening for these other energies to come in. And that susceptibility is just like, it's like an open wound for some people. And in my experience, what happens is that it takes that one first thing, and then something else piles on, and they start to get more and more energy frequencies just piling on to them, to the point where you may not even recognize that person anymore. And I know that those of you who have experienced somebody who's an alcoholic or a drug addict, it makes it very easy to see when somebody goes down that road and how quickly things start to pile on and things start to happen, and they start to do things that are out of character and behave in ways. Alcohol and drugs make it easy for us to see. But the truth is, it's not just smoking, drugs, alcohol, sex, and the things that you might think of, when you think of attachment energy or getting yourself, involved in something. This energy can come about in many, many other ways. Because if it isn't going to get you through this means, it's going to get you through another. No matter who you are, that attachment energy is always laying in wait. And it's up to you to make sure that you're not picking it up and you're not allowing yourself to become vulnerable to that frequency, to that energy. And I do like to put it in terms of frequency because, like I said before, every single thing in your life is frequency. Everything you see, touch, taste, smell, hear, it's all a frequency. So wouldn't it stand to reason that everything you don't see would also be some kind of frequency? I would say yes. A person can become susceptible to these lower frequency energies, even in the simplest ways. And trust me when I say I have watched this happen over and over again. The simplest thing, like somebody that isn't normally smoking, they're like, well, we're at a party, let's have some fun. They pick up a cigarette, and then the next thing you know, 2 months down the line, they're a full-time smoker. Yeah, of course there is that addiction to the substance, but there's something more there that creates the need for that. I hope that everybody understands that. It's more than a chemical reliance. It's more than a chemical reliance. There is something underlying everyone that has a problem with these things, and that is where the attachment energy lies. And with that, you should understand that keeping bad company, even if you're not doing something wrong, being with people who are doing things wrong, or not, people that aren't the energetic frequency that you would like to see yourself be in, those people are going to get their dirty frequency on you. It's contagious. We are like trees, and we feed each other, energetically. And wherever your friendship circles or your family is connected, that is where you're feeding from. And so the people and the company that you keep is so very important in being able to keep your own energy clear and being able to maintain a great, healthy, energetic field and energy flow in your own mind, body, soul, spirit. And the environments that you are in has heavy, heavy impact on your energetic field, just like when you're around people, when you're in certain environments. Yes, you're picking up on frequencies. We are just little tuning forks, we're little watery meat sacks that are just tuning in to every frequency in our environment, every frequency that we're exposed to. And we don't even recognize a huge percentage of what we're exposed to or what we're surrounded by. We only see a very, very small, or we're only able to disseminate with our senses a very, very small percentage of what is happening in our environment. So environments that are negative, like some of you may have jobs that are just like draining the soul out of your body. And if they are, then you need to get another job. You need to be moving towards, change your focus towards finding something that's going to be good for you, something that you can feel good about, an environment that doesn't make you feel drained. But work is going to make you tired, but feeling drained is another thing. You know what I'm saying? And that is either something that you need to change, or you need to find out how to manage. And some environments, like I said, it may be your work. You may not be able to change it, so you might have to figure out how to manage it. But other environments that we might choose to put ourselves in that aren't good for us, that aren't feeding our energy in a positive way, we should avoid those at all costs. Those environments are very, very impactful to us as human beings, and we just totally want to ignore that. We recognize that you can't put a polar bear in the desert, but for some reason we can't factor in how humans need certain environments. And of course, don't get me on the soapbox talking about nature, because nature and sunlight and all of that is what we need, but we've created these environments that are just the antithesis of what we need. It's not good for us. This artificial light, filtered air, concrete everywhere you can see, it's not conducive to healthy humans. Of course, I believe that we need those things to some degree, but what I'm saying is that being separated from nature is just not good for us. And so your environment can very much affect your electromagnetic field, and it can also make you susceptible to attachment energy, things that are going to bring your energy down into a lower frequency. And then, of course, the things that you think about. Your thoughts can even open you up to this kind of frequency. I mean, don't forget that your brain is so powerful. It's your connection to not just this physical world, but to the spiritual, to the etheric, to the divine. When your thoughts are not focused on things that are good for you, then you are going to be welcoming in and bringing in, literally connecting with frequencies that are of a lower, unhealthy, unhappy kind of nature. And the way to avoid that is to avoid those thoughts, to focus your thinking, to direct your thoughts, which I've talked about in my other videos. You really must have a go-to thought, something that you want to see in the future, or something that just makes you very happy or peaceful. If you could create that place in your mind and know whatever it is, if it's you in the future, see yourself in color, being in that life, doing whatever it is that you want to do. That is your go-to thought. And you can, have a handful of them, honestly. Have like 5, 6, 7 of them. Have some things that you can think about, so that whenever you are hit with thoughts and things that aren't necessarily good for you, or aren't necessarily focused in the right direction, you can simply direct your thought over to one of your go-to thoughts, And if that go-to thought doesn't work, then you'll have another one lined up if you have several of them ready to go. And just make it that way. And then when you get into that thought, get into that thought, become that thought, become one with that imagery in your mind. Because that is how we become resonant with a better frequency, with the frequencies that we want to be a part of, that we want to have in our lives. And again, by thinking about the negative, by thinking about bad things, by thinking about bad things happening, you are connecting with that frequency. And that is something that you don't want to do. And of course, when it comes to thoughts, the next step is feelings. Because our thoughts lead us to have feelings about something. And maybe we feel jealousy or hate or malevolence, wanting something bad to happen to someone. Destructive thoughts, destructive behaviors. Those things are all within the realm of this frequency that you could welcome into your own electromagnetic field. And here you are, just filled with all this negativity. How do I pull myself out of it? And I see it like this. I see it like layers upon layers of these things that you resonate with different frequencies that we resonate with, right? And so the answer to it would be to peel those layers off and to get that frequency clear. And I have a lot of experience in doing that. And here's the big deal about clearing up that energy. We can do that all day long. I can clear your energy. But the thing is, I can't keep your energy clear. That is a personal responsibility. That is something that you will have to learn to do. It's up to each and every individual. It's every individual's responsibility to manage the frequencies that are coming into their electromagnetic field, into their energy centers, into their mind, body, soul, spirit, into the energy that is coming into your electromagnetic field, your energy centers, your mind, your body. And that's the hardest part for most people, is keeping it clear, because all it takes is a step in a certain direction to become resonant with certain frequencies. So all it takes is, for an alcoholic, is one more drink, right? All it takes is one little step in that direction. As soon as you become resonant with the frequencies that are not good for you, that is the moment that you've opened yourself up again. And so you find yourself at square one with your energy, right? So the answer for everyone here is to really find out, what it is that's such a negative frequency, and do everything you can to avoid it. And get in there and clear out that energy. I have some videos here about how to do that. The most powerful ways that I have found to get that energy clear is through frequency. I feel like high frequencies and tones can literally wipe out certain frequencies, especially lower frequency energy that might be kind of hanging around in our bodies, in our electromagnetic field, and in our energy centers. And I like to use, they're called angel tuners. It's a 4096, a 4160, and a 4225 hertz frequency that are all played together, and they make several different tones, and you can utilize that to clear out that frequency and to just kind of wash it out. I do have that video here on the channel, and I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video. And again, frequency comes in the form of sound, light, smell, touch, taste, all sorts of ways. All sorts of ways with regard to our senses, anyway, at least what we can measure. And so I like to use scent as well to clear out frequencies. And honestly, bad smelling things carry bad frequencies. It does. Come on now. You know that if you get like around something that smells really bad, you're immediately going to give a negative response in some way, shape, or form. So the counterbalance to that negative smell frequency would be to bring in something that's pleasant, something that's pleasurable for you to smell, right? And, floral scents and things like that can, of course, help to uplift the spirit. It can help to alleviate depression. It's amazing what good smells can do for you. But one of the things that I really like to use when it comes to energy clearing, I'm not a person that burns sage. Oh my God in heaven, I can't do sage. It's the most repulsive thing in the world. I think most people find sage to be completely repulsive, and I don't want to burn it in my home and all that. I like to use tree resin, and my favorite tree resin is copal. It smells pleasant, it's beautiful, and it's one of the most powerful energy clearing frequencies that I've found. So hopefully you'll find that to be useful. And then, of course, to keep your energy clear, you need to come outside of yourself, and to acknowledge the world around you, to acknowledge and connect with and be compassionate to the world around, because it is also very much connected to you, and it matters how the rest of the world is as far as how your energy is impacted. It matters, right? It only takes one person to change the world is true, because if everybody took responsibility for this frequency stuff, we could actually have a real nice frequency for everyone. And I think that we would find ourselves to be healthier mentally, physically, spiritually, overall. So, connecting with the world around is really important to the well-being of a human being. And in addition to that, your connection to something bigger than what you can see, that connection to God, source, higher self, whatever you call it, it's that higher divine energy that is a part of absolutely everything, in which I kind of believe to be frequency itself. That energy, that divine frequency, it's way above. If you're one of the psychics out here, you know that it's way above the realm of collective consciousness. It's beyond that. And it's a connection that we all have. And if you connect with that energy and you connect with it and you bring it into your electromagnetic field and you say, please clear this out. I need help from the universe. I need help from the frequencies above. You're sending out a frequency that will bring back what it is that you need to clear that energy out. So when it comes to these attachment energies, you have to understand it's people, places, and things that affect your electromagnetic field that carry these attachment energies that literally are just frequencies that are just out there. And the moment you start to resonate, there will be a connection. There's a connection. And it's the things that we allow ourselves to do. It's sometimes the things that we are so unaware of in life that keep us in a state of susceptibility. It's that unawareness. It's being resonant with frequencies that you may not even realize that you're resonant with. That is a real danger. And so getting your energy clear and knowing, being just hyper aware of what it is that you resonate with is so important. And sometimes we are totally unaware of what it is that we're resonating with through our thoughts and our actions and the things that we subscribe to. It is in our ideologies that we find a lot of these breakdowns as a society and as individuals, because a lot of times these things don't align with things outside of ourselves. And sometimes we literally have to force them to fit within ourselves, these ideologies and ideas and concepts that are kind of imposed on us. So when it comes to that, you need to become hyper aware and hyper vigilant about what you allow into your frequency, into your thoughts, into your feelings, into your actions, into your connections, and where you go and who you're doing it with, and the things that you allow yourself to become resonant with. Those things must be carefully managed. And I want you all to understand that the strongest conduit by which this energy manifests is other people. The people that we have in our lives and the people that we connect with. And the level in which we connect with them is relevant. So, having a superficial connection or, bumping into that energy and having to deal with it is going to impact you less than if you're connecting with it on some very serious level, a soul level, a spiritual level, a sexual level even. When people share sexual energy, when they put those root chakras together, there is a connection that is made. And who you choose to open your cup to or share your wand with should be very, very, very important to you. You should be very choosy about who you allow into that part of your being, because it's a very delicate and susceptible place. And when you connect with someone sexually like that, like I said, you're connecting on the root chakra level. And you're literally connecting those chakras. And Kundalini could have a major role in that as well. And so there is a bringing up of this frequency. There is a bringing up of these energies, and there is a mixture and sharing of them, just like anything else. And if you think that you're at risk for having a sexually transmitted disease, well, you surely are. But you are also at a higher risk of picking up that person's dirty energy, their frequency, their attachment energies. And I also think that, sexuality is one way that we connect and really let that energy flow. And that attachment becomes so much more through these very sacred acts that we have kind of let slip into the not so sacred, right? And so when it comes to connecting with a person on that level, I think it's very important that there is an understanding of who you're connecting with, and an understanding that when you connect with that person, you will be sharing that attachment energy. You are bringing that stuff right on into your electromagnetic field. It's like welcoming in the vampire at the door. All he needs is for you to say, "Come on in." And so put that in your pocket when it comes to, how you connect in the future especially with regard to sex, because it's a very, very delicate and sensitive connection. I think probably most people who are watching this video are going, okay, well, I came here to figure out, what I can do to clear out my energy, what I can do to, balance my chakras, what can I do to, clear my aura. And that is all very much simply answered by frequency and diligence. And so when it comes down to it, you're going to need to work with your energy. It's just like a muscle, and it will become stronger, and your intuition with working with these things will also become stronger as you work with it. It's just like anything else. Practice makes perfect. And so you need to work with it as much as you can. Be very aware, hyper vigilant about what you connect with and what you allow. Just make sure that you are managing what comes in and out, what you connect with and what you don't. And I feel like that is a really, really good start. And then you can work with frequency in many different ways to try and clear up that energy and get that energy field moving in the right direction. Thoughts are one of the strongest ways of getting that energy flow in the right direction, because it's through your thoughts, through your pineal gland, through your connection to the divine, through your mental plane, that you're able to really connect with energies that might not necessarily be sitting right next to you, something that might not be necessarily tangible, but it is tangible if you can think about it and get in touch with the essence of it in your mind. So work with the frequency to kind of get everything cleared up. I have a lot of videos here on the channel. Hopefully those will help you in some way. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. The best way to reach me is on Twitter at crystalcleardfw. And I hope you'll support the channel and help me to get this channel growing by hitting the red subscribe button below and the bell notification next to it if you'd like to receive alerts. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. Thank you for watching.